what does it say about the character of this man that he is so adroit at apologizing for the actions of others, yet incapable of taking responsibility for his own egregious actions? Look, I'm no psychiatrist, folks, but I think this speaks to ego and privilege and entitlement. Justin Trudeau is a trust fund baby born with the proverbial silver spoon wedged firmly in his mouth. You know, I wonder if Pierre and Margaret ever compelled their little superboy to utter a single sincere apology whilst little Justin was growing up. But there is some perverse irony at play here. If Justin's self-entitlement is indeed preventing him from making a personal apology, then this is ultimately a self-defeating strategy. That's because the public is indeed very forgiving. But the caveat is that you have to be honest and sincere rather than evasive. As the old post-Watergate chestnut goes, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up. Indeed, I don't know why so many entities, be they political parties or manufacturing companies, have forgotten the lessons learned from the tainted Tylenol saga of 1982. That's when some maniac in the Chicago area tainted Tylenol tablets with cyanide, resulting in the deaths of 7 people. Now, at the time, many analysts wrote off Tylenol as a dead brand given the toxic publicity. Yet the parent company of Tylenol, Johnson & Johnson, they rewrote the book on damage control and crisis management by being proactive. At enormous cost, the company undertook a global recall of its Tylenol tablets, even though the problem was only confined to the Chicago area. Eventually, tamper-proof packaging was developed, something that we now take for granted, but the company also apologized for the deaths, even though it was in no way responsible. The public came to look upon Johnson & Johnson as a victim too. The word Tylenol could have become synonymous with poison, but instead, most people probably don't know that this tragedy ever happened. In fact, Tylenol's market share is greater today than it was in 1982. Yet clearly, Justin Trudeau is no Johnson & Johnson. In fact, he and his freelance pit bulls, such as Sheila Copps, have gone on the offensive to absolve the government of any responsibility pertaining to Lav scam, further placing the blame on Jody Wilson-Raybould, even though polls indicate that most Canadians believe that Miss Wilson-Raybould acted with integrity. As for today, as the Lav scam dumpster fire morphs into something that resembles the Hagersville tire fire, where, pray tell, is our fearless leader? Well, he's taken some more personal days off, you see. No, really. Oh, sure, he's got cabinet ministers touring the country, creating distractions, making announcements from everything pertaining to climate change to women's liberation. But Trudeau himself is apparently on a Florida beach working on his tan. Indeed, how our Justin loves taking personal days off.
That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.